Good morning, everybody. What's happening? It's me, Robert Phoenix, and we're back for another edition of the Astro Weather. Rocking my Arkansas Razorback gear today. Go Suey. I guess that's what they say back there. Anyway, it is another day in the kingdom, and we are going to break it down. I hope you're all having a good start to your day. Everything is bright and optimistic. And why not, right? When the world is crashing down around you, when the systems collapse and society fails, you don't have to. Just remember that. You don't have to. In many ways, in fact, in all ways, your condition is your choice. And astrology gives us a way of looking at what's going on in the sky that allows us at times to make better choices. Doesn't solve everything, but allows us to make better and more informed choices, especially if we can go with the energy of the chart or of the day itself. If you're somewhere else in the world and it's not your morning, I hope you are having a pleasant and relaxed end of your day. If you're waking up at some point after your sleep and watching this, I also hope it was a good one. So let's get going. Thanks for being here. Running a little late. I was burning the midnight oil last night. I was doing an interview, and even it's for next Friday. It's not even for this Friday, it's for next Friday. So here we go. We're almost out of Virgo. How sad. How sad it makes me that we're almost out of Virgo. The sun is at 27 degrees and the clock is ticking. These degrees, the 27th and particularly the 28th degree, are two crazy degrees when it comes to astrology. And we've talked about this before. And it's basically what happens when a sign changes signs, right? So we get to the 27th and 28th degree, and there's this really scrambled energy. Really scrambled energy. It's kind of like at this almost chaotic peak. And I'll show you tomorrow what I mean by that with tomorrow's star of the day, because you'll see what I'm talking about. So 28, we get this scrambled chaotic peak. And then at 29, anoretic, there's nothing left. There's no energy left in the sign. And then you get the next degree, which is 0. So what it does is it really follows this cycle of like being a supernova at 27, 28, and then going dark, becoming like a black hole at 29, and then a new star at 0, which comes out of a black hole ultimately, right? So this is sort of part of that cycle with the sun at 27, and we have an exact trine with Pluto today. This is one of those days where if you are, how do I say this? If you can manage your expectations, you're going to have a potentially very good reward today. What do I mean by that? So we have Neptune over here. The sun is starting to separate from Neptune a little bit. And with Neptune in the opposition position, there can be a lot of expectations. It's kind of like the Sun Neptune opposition to me is hoping you get, like, remember when you were a little kid, and for those of you who did not participate in Christmas, I'm not going to assume everybody did, but when you were a little kid, when I was a little kid, and you were expecting something for Christmas, and you were really excited about that thing, and you didn't get it, that's like the Sun Neptune opposition. And you could have received like really cool shit, but because you were focused on one thing, you're gonna miss what's under the tree. This is kind of the energy of today. So the gift is the Sun Pluto trine, right? That's the gift. The Sun Neptune opposition is a bit of a letdown. Don't get attached to what you think you should need, because you're going to get what you need. And it's going to be good. It's going to be good. This is in. You may think that your efforts and your work are worth more. I would say let it play out a bit. Let it play out a bit. The sun is still in trine with Uranus. Uranus is retrograde and Jupiter is retrograde. The sun has moved past it, but still in this, you know, conjunction up here. And don't be too quick, right? Even with the retrograde, it's like don't don't dismiss whatever opportunity or gain, even if it's not what you really wanted. Don't dismiss it. How you handle the situation is very important. I think that's a key for today. Let's take it out of the realm of reward or reward for effort or work. We'll take it out of that realm. Let's take it into the realm of just the facts, man. Right? Just the facts. Today's a Joe Friday day. And with the Neptune Sun opposition, it's really interesting. This whole Russell Brand thing has come out with this Neptune Sun opposition. Of course, Russell Brand is a Gemini, and there's many different sides of Russell Brand. I did a show on it yesterday, and I kind of partitioned it off into 3 different areas. Today, I'm going to look at it again on the 15-minute show, and I'm going to play devil's advocate. Not that I'm going to take Russell Brand's side, but I'm going to make a case for Russell Brand being railroaded and why. But this is what's happening here with this. There's this kind of hysteria with the Neptune Sun opposition. There's a lot of kind of hysteria, and he's a focal point for this hysteria. Don't let it. Don't fall into the hysteria trap in your own life. Now, there is a plus side with the Sun Neptune opposition, is that if you can keep your head while those around you are losing theirs and can demonstrate faith with a Sun Neptune opposition, that can work. That can work. Sometimes when I see in a transit chart with somebody and they're going through a Sun Neptune opposition, I'll ask them, what is your vision? What is your dream? Because that's the other side of this, right? Neptune is the great dream. And the downside of Neptune is it goes from the great dream to the great illusion. So that's what we're talking about here with expectations. So even if you don't necessarily get what you want and you're navigating through the world and you are aware of whatever gains, sometimes with Virgo, they're not huge. Sometimes like a sun in Taurus trine Pluto, now you're talking big gains. Sometimes in Virgo, they're not huge, but you have to recognize them. And if you can still hold on to your dream or hold on to your vision, well, even better, right? Because that's the higher octave of Neptune. Not being let down, not experience what the Theosophists call crashed heaven. So these are very interesting dynamics, and that's just with Sun Neptune. We have Mars swinging in at 15 degrees and coming into this Chiron opposition. And the only thing I can think of when I see this Mars Chiron opposition is guns. Guns. Second Amendment, right? Rights. And then we have this inconjunct going on with Jupiter and the conflation of violence, the conflation of a person's right to carry or the right to defend. This is, I think, we're not quite there yet. We're not quite there yet. Give it 2 days. You got Friday coming up. Friday is always a big psyop dump day. So, and we're coming into the 23rd as well. So keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on this from the collective level. From your own position with Mars here, I think good cooperation is still in order, right? Mars hasn't even come into an exact sextile with Venus. Someone's trying to text me. Who is this? So we have this Mars sextile to Venus, and good cooperation is part of the mix. Masculine, feminine, right? We're on the same team. Did a great interview last night with a good friend, Lee Guest. And I've had Lee on my show a couple of years ago. And she had an internet song that went freaking viral. It was like the pissed off chicks version of Rich Man North of Richmond. And I caught up with her last night. It was a really, really good interview, probably about 40 minutes long. And she was on the verge of sort of taking off. People wanted to rep her music on iTunes, Spotify, bring her into distribution. And she went and became a mom. Really interesting interview, because that brings us into Scorpio and the moon in Scorpio. And today the moon in Scorpio is in that third decan. So it's in that Cancer decan. That's the mom decan. And we have this sextile with the sun going on and the sextile with Pluto. And then here we have a nice trine with Neptune. So I think we're ready. We're ready for any kind of disturbing emotions, especially early or late in the day, because of this opposition here. It's at 29, isn't it? Yeah. So I did that interview last night. It was perfect. It was perfect time to do that interview. I would say that the influence of the opposition with Uranus is going to be a bit less than the nice sextile early on with the sun and Pluto. And to me, the moon in Scorpio, especially in Cancer, it's that sort of cliched phrase, holding space, right? Like that's kind of what this does, especially in Cancer. Here, I think the moon in Scorpio becomes a rock. It's fixed, doesn't move, right? And it locks in with Pluto and the sun. And there's some real potential, and even Neptune, real potential for forgiveness, being really strong emotionally, not weak, not weak. Today is really interesting. Look at all the patterns we have here. We've got a mystic rectangle. We've got a grand trine pointing down to Earth. We do have some squares going on. Moon Saturn. That's it. To me, this Moon Saturn has to do with. It's still in Scorpio. It moves into Sagittarius. That to me, this is a bit of emotional outrage. For some reason, I have Greta Thunberg in my head. How dare you? But there is that kind of energy here, especially in Sagittarius. It's like it's the Sagittarian moon can be a little self-righteous, but it'll still be in this sextile. It'll still be in this trine if it goes to 0-1, which it will later in the day. But the energy of the moon square Saturn is a little more outrageous, a little more. Even though this square can bring on some depression, there's too much. There's too much going on here with the moon to succumb to the depression. It feels to me more to me like understanding your emotions as being integrative or integrated, and that you're not going to put up with some bullshit, which is Saturn in Pisces. To me, this is a bit of the energy of the heretic. And no, this we're not going to do this just because this is how it's said it's done. No, it's not. We're not going down that path. So this is also a really interesting development later in the day. And I wouldn't say it's about speaking truth, although we do have an opportunity here a bit more with Mercury trining Jupiter, ruler of Sagittarius. There is some of that, but I would say before you speak, feel. You'll have plenty of time tomorrow, the next day. So we're talking Thursday, Friday. Mercury gets to a 10, 11, comes more into that trine with Jupiter. So I would feel more and kind of make your emotional case for what you're going to say. Wait till this Mercury Jupiter trine ripens a little bit. And Mercury in Virgo is spitting facts. A lot going on today. This is a very interesting day. And I didn't even get into the Venus square with Jupiter and Uranus. Um, and we talked about the sextile, but Venus square Jupiter Uranus, to me, that's interesting bedfellows. Very fast connections here. Very quick in terms of recognizing another person. I would say don't always commit though. Like if you have a how should we say this, a chance encounter, don't turn away from it, but also be aware that a lot of times when you have Venus Uranus squares, they're not long term. They feel like they could be long term, but they're not always long term. This could also be one of those days where you have a turnaround with somebody in your life, and it's like you've been going down this one path for a while, and all of a sudden it switches, it flips, and it's like, "Ah, good, we took care of that, we flipped that shit." Okay, very interesting day, super interesting. Element wise, we're pretty even. Fair amount of water, fair amount of earth, fair amount of air, a lot of fire, a good mutable, good fixed, good cardinal. So the elements and the triplicities are all distributed fairly well across the chart. Go out today, live. Today's a live, like today's a get involved in life, live day. Okay. All right. There you go. We have our star of the day, whom I believe is one of the most beautiful women that we have ever seen in the 20th century. There's a lot of beautiful women in the sign of Virgo. That's Sophia Loren. And you can tell, you can just see her chart. You can see her all over her chart. Just like yesterday with Jeremy Irons, you can see his acting career through his chart. And Sophia Loren is a big star in Italy. She might have, it's hard to say if she was a bigger star in Italy or a bigger star in the US because she became this like internet. You know, that was the time where we had these international beauties that were gracing the screen. You had Brigitte Bardot and Claudia Cardinale and Sophia Loren. I mean, these Gina Lollobrigida, really outrageously beautiful women, and a lot of them became stars. Right, a little later on, Catherine Deneuve, but they became stars. And her, I mean, you just look. She has Jupiter in Libra, so you know Libra is Venus and the goddess, and Jupiter is like right at the top of her chart. And she's got this Jupiter moon trine, she's got this Jupiter Saturn trine. And by the way, Capricorn rising, if you've seen any picture of her lately, she still looks good. I mean, she doesn't look like this, but she looks good. I mean, that's Capricorn rising. So you Capricorn rising people out there, you're going to look good as you get older, while other people are running to the serum clinic. Um, but you can see it here, and even her midheaven at 0 Scorpio, that's what she's known for, that smoldering, sensuality with Scorpio in the midheaven. And even there's that picture of her with Jane Mansfield, where she's looking at Jane Mansfield's boobs. And that's a very scorpionic moment. It's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's jealousy, but it's certainly a degree of professional envy, which she clearly displayed there. But it's all about the beauty with Sophia, right? It's that Jupiter in Libra, the bountiful goddess uh, that's out there for all the world to see. And of course, there's the international component with the ninth house. And then there's now she's got some hidden stuff. Whether or not we see her Venus Neptune conjunction, we feel it. We feel, because Virgo is all about perfection, right? It's perfection. And here with Neptune, it's very close. It's almost Kazemi, right? Very, very close. So she is this, in some ways, like almost perfect Neptunian goddess of beauty, but it's all in the eighth house. So she has some things going on here. Like there are affairs in Sophia Loren's life. I got a Sophia Loren story, which is it's a weird story, but it kind of, I think, speaks to what I'm talking about here with Venus and Neptune conjunction in the eighth house. So I used to work with this woman at mp3.com, although I didn't I didn't work for mp3.com. I worked for another company. We were in the same building. And her sister had gone to Switzerland, and they were in a cafe during the day. Hardly anybody was in the cafe. And they were getting like a chocolate or something. And one of the few tables populated with people was a table with Sophia Loren and Bill Clinton. And I'm like, what the fuck is Bill Clinton doing in Switzerland with Sophia? And this was, I think, around 2004. So her sister noticed them, and she put her daughter in between the two of them and got a picture with Bill Clinton and Sophia Loren at this random cafe in Switzerland at probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. To me, this is Venus Neptune in the eighth house. Like, what the fuck were they doing? Was he just a fan? Was Slick Willie dipping into that eighth house? Was it money? And she's kind of an eighth house person, although clearly the sun is ingressing into the ninth, which again gives her this international appeal. And a really tempestuous seventh house. Mars and Leo in the seventh house. Boy, she can get into some real rows. If you crossed her and you pissed her off, oh man. Now the world would see beautiful Sophia, but in relationship and partnership, I think she'd be a handful. To me, this is like diva energy. She doesn't appear to be a diva to the world. Not Virgos wouldn't do that, but in relationship, look out. Behind closed doors, look out. What do we have these squares going on? Jupiter Pluto square. That's not a terrible square. She's going to make money off of her looks, right? That's clearly going to happen. There's something also very maternal about Loren with Ceres in Cancer. So she's like, I think to me, especially with Virgo and Pluto in the seventh house, to me, she is the perfect rendition of the Madonna whore archetype. That's who Sophia Loren is. She is the perfect rendition of the Madonna whore. And what's interesting is emotionally, I think she can be very detached from all of this. Not that she wouldn't be engaged, but she can be very, very detached. with Moon Saturn right down here. And I think her life growing up probably was very difficult with Moon Saturn here. But I think she also quickly catapulted out of her circumstances. Um, this would indicate a close relationship with the mother and the father, but distant as well. Like maybe there was money problems or family problems later on. Maybe members of her family wanted to rip her off, but this is close. Close. It's weird. It's close but distant, and maybe that's what a lot of people feel with her. Like they know her, but they really don't. And with the true node in Aquarius, I feel like she plays that role just in terms of like popular media, um, advertisements, commercials, television shows, movies. And not that everybody thought that they had a chance with Sophia Loren, but with the true node in Aquarius, there is that hint of, well, maybe at the right day, the right time, I could be like that dumb shit Bill Clinton and wind up with her in a cafe in Switzerland at 2 p.m. when nobody's around. There kind of has that. Aquarius is represented by the star card in Tarot. And it's about hope, right? The star is hope. Like, man, maybe I can find somebody like her. And so she set the standard. She set the bar high. Very interesting chart. Really, to me, the takeaways in this chart are the midheaven at 0 Scorpio and that smoldering sexuality. Venus, the goddess of love, amplified through Jupiter up here at the top. And the kind of the secret dimension in the Madonna whore that I think she actually is a real archetype with. And man, relationships, look out. That's where the fury of the diva, I think, comes out to play. All right. There's your star of the day, the lovely Sophia Loren. Okay, we got 168 people here. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you like this, please subscribe. You'll get notified when I put up the StreamYard. Look who's here today. I'm going to say hello to people. Look who's here today. Yeah, it's the Astro Cat. The Astro Cat knows where it's at. Look at you. You're kind of glitching out. You're like the Matrix Cat today. Yeah, you are. You got anything to say to anybody? Got purring? It's a good purr today. It's a healthy purr. All right, let's talk a little true hemp science. If you have needs for things like inflammation, basically lubricating your body, fighting free radicals, resetting your cells, CBD is your friend. Not just any CBD, true hemp science. True hemp science is formulated and crafted. There's a wide variety. You're not going to get the shotgun CBD, although some of Chris's blends have more of a wide spectrum approach. But some of these are very, very specific, and they're crafted for a reason. And whatever he's done with them, the emulsification, the various elements between the small amounts of legal THC, that all varies a little bit, right? So if you go to truehempscience.com, you can check all that out. Everybody loves the sleep gummies. Nobody has ever sent the sleep gummies back. So if you have a difficult time sleeping at night, the sleep gummies are your friend. Go to truehempscience.com, type in 15MINS, and you'll get free product with any order over $100 or more. $150 more get you free shipping. What else, Jasper? Always a 30-day money-back guarantee. And I am proud to say we are sold out for the event. There are no more rooms. Well, let me rephrase that. I have some rooms that I've set aside. And so I have my room. I have a room for one of the presenters. And I think I have 2 other rooms. I have 2. If you are interested in attending, because we only have 2 rooms left, and they're the ones that I've set aside, you need to get a hold of me, because we are sold out of rooms. It doesn't mean that you can't attend, but it's very hard. The entire hill country is sold out for the eclipse. So I'm happy to say that, and looking forward to ramping this thing up. All right. If you want to get a hold of me, go to my website. There's a phone number there. You can call me. It's a good way to get a hold of me. So there you go. Use your head in order to discern what's real, your heart to open what's possible. I'm Robert Phoenix, and have yourself a fantastic day. If you've already lived it, enjoy your evening. I hope it's restful and peaceful and rejuvenating. And we'll see you hopefully over on the 15-minute side on Rumble. I think today, I think this will be the last week on Rumble specifically. We'll go back to 15 and simulcast on Rumble. So we're not leaving Rumble. We're just gonna branch off a little bit. All right. Take care. Bye for now.